We are your home for exclusive interviews and behind-the-scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. This is all about Kentucky tracks, Kentucky drivers, and Kentucky fans. We eat, sleep, and breathe it anyways, so we figured why not make a podcast about it? For 11 years, we've been keeping the bluegrass covered in dirt. Now, we're doing it bigger than ever before. We are Kentucky's Dirt Racing Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live, presented by Smokehouse Grill and Buffet.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live. Wes Lanham, Worldwide Wes, out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, and Josh Chastain, Jumping Josh out of Berea, Kentucky. Look at him. He's got his hunting attire on. He's ready to be in the woods.
Yeah, you got that right. I am ready. I was in the woods today, Wes, actually. Speaking of, so I didn't even change out of my camo hat, man. I'm ready for it. For every season of life, my seasons are racing season, deer season, football season, basketball season, and it starts all over again. So, yeah, ready for deer season. Got some cameras out today. Let's see what we can get.
And I will mention this is sponsored by Smokehouse Grill and Buffet, and we are in the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios tonight. Just happy to be on here, buddy. Happy to do another show with you, and we got a lot of racing to talk about tonight.
Yeah, happy to be on here for sure, man. It's, like you said, a lot to talk about. Really looking forward to it. I called you earlier and I said, Wes, we're going to change things up a little bit here tonight. I'm putting you in the driver's seat for this one. I normally lead the show and lead everything, but I thought, it'd be good to change things up a little bit. We've done, I don't know, you asked me what show is it, I said, man, I lost track of that a long time ago. We're way up there, so I thought, it'd be good to change things up a little bit and make things a little bit different here tonight and put you in the captain's seat and let you lead us, and it'll be fun. Plus, for a long time people say you won't let Wes talk. I haven't heard that in a long time because you've been talking more here lately. So I thought I'm gonna give Wes his big nod here and let him take the lead, and I'll just sit behind you, buddy, and let you guide us around.
Well, that sounds good. I'm totally fine with taking the back seat and being second place, I guess. But I'll jump up there and take that pole position and win the race tonight and lead it. Going to be a fun night, buddy. Got a lot to talk about, like I said, and got our good buddy Skylar Marlar going to come on in a few minutes and talk to him. I know it's funny. This is Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live, but we've talked to national guys, regional guys, and it's perfectly fine to have some Tennessee guys on, and just really looking forward to talking to him, and like I said, got a big weekend. Lake Cumberland Speedway's got a 5,000 win American All-Star crate racing series coming to town, so really looking forward to that, and he's competing in it, so going to be a good night, buddy. We got a lot to talk about from last week, and got a lot to talk about this week.
Well, let's talk about last week here real quick. Like you said, we're going to get Skylar on here in just a minute. Not waste too much time before we do that. But yeah, last weekend, a lot of rainouts, man. It's kind of a tough Saturday for our local racetracks, really. Thunder Mountain was able to reschedule theirs to Sunday, and get theirs in that way. But yeah, overall, like I said, it was a tough deal, there on Saturday with the rain. I believe 191 Speedway, they were planning on having their opening night on Saturday. that. I think Mud Lick got to run. Am I right about that? I think I saw some results from over there, and they got to run. I could be
Yeah,
completely wrong.
I think they did. I think they were
Yeah.
able to run. So that's good. But here's the thing that's kind of been odd. We had so much rain earlier in the year, and you know, then all of a sudden we've hit a dry spell here, and
Yeah.
heck, we've not had rain, but we did. Here in Campbellsville, speaking, we did have a good rain shower. Saturday started around 5:30, and just a set in rain, a good rain, what we needed, and then also got some on Sunday afternoon. But yeah, definitely, we'd had rainouts, early in the spring and early summer, and then all of a sudden we've been dry here, so it was kind of odd to see some rain out there on Saturday, and I know Thunder Mountain was able to reschedule and run their show on Sunday, which is good. They had a 3,000 win crate pro late model show there, 3,000 win, and the rooster Dustin Linville was able to get the win in that. So
Yeah.
he's been hot down there. He's loving Thunder Mountain Speedway. He's loving the mountain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last time I was able to make it down there to Thunder Mountain, got to interview him in Victory Lane. Actually, I didn't get to interview him in Victory Lane. I did get to on our Facebook page. I got to interview him, and then I did the rest of the interviews there for the track. My first time doing that was that night. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely. He's definitely found something down there, but you think about it with that 39 crate car. I mean, Linville, he's been good overall. He just won 5,000 over at Brownstown not too long ago, and then he's won a couple 3,000 races there. He's won pretty much everywhere that he's took that thing, and man, that's a really good car. Like he's won a lot of money in that crate machine for sure.
Yeah, he has, and I know we've joked with him. Take that crate motor out of that car, put your super motor in, and get it all lined out. But he's definitely won a lot of money in that 39, and I think he's planning to come to Lake Cumberland on Saturday.
Yep.
He's had some unfortunate issues. I think they blowed a motor in the super last weekend, and that's unfortunate, but he's still getting to run in that 39 crate car. And like you said, he's won a ton of money.
Yeah, he has won some good races in that car, and he's in contention. Like he's right up there. I think it's less than 10 points the last time I saw for that Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Model Series. It'll be decided in October there at Richmond. So man, it could be a big year for him overall with all the crate races he's won, and then to get that Ultimate Championship would be a good way to end of the year for that team for sure.
Yeah. Going to try to switch gears here a little bit. David Redmond said I should have went over to JRR Motor Shop and go live with Dalton Wilson and Ross Robinson. Well, Redmond, let's see, Tuesday, I guess it was, I picked Annabeth up from school, and she'd made the choir, and they had practice, and I looked over there Tuesday and saw all the hollers, and I said, I got to run over and talk to Dalton and Ross, and so her and I ran over and talked to them a few minutes, talked to Gull. They was busy working on the cars and getting ready. Got a Friday, Saturday deal. Got the Jackson 100 this weekend at Brownstown. So I know I took pictures and sent them to Josh, and he was pretty jealous.
Yeah.
I said, "Look where I'm at," and I took pictures of Dalton working on the car and Ross's wife, and then there was Jason Jameson's car, and then Justin Ratliff. So I was definitely in hog heaven there at JRR Motorsports earlier in the week. So yeah, just a cool deal. They was thrashing, getting ready. They'd just come back from Knoxville, Iowa, and getting the cars ready for Friday night and Saturday night at Brownstown this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, Worldwide had to make his rounds there the other night, like he usually does. I'm sure he's already been messaging some drivers on Facebook this week too, and just doing what he does. So
Yeah,
getting the rundown.
Got to check in. Got to see where everybody's going. No Rockcastle's running this weekend as well, and got to check on my drivers, see where everybody's racing this weekend, and that's the thing. Support your local tracks. Fans need to get out and enjoy it, because we've got a couple races left before cold weather sets in. So we definitely got to get our racing in while we can before it gets too cold.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of cold weather, I'm out here in the shop with the shop door up. It's at this point it's dark by the time we start the show. So I had to use some bug spray tonight, Wes. I've been getting eat up by mosquitoes sitting out here with the garage door open. So man, just try to fend for myself out here. You gotta protect yourself out here in the elements when you live outside of city limits and you can't get high speed internet, and you got to have the garage door open to get some service. So
yeah, you big.
While you sit in luxury, I'm out here, surviving.
I'm up here in the mansion on the hill, and you're out there on the farm with the chickens and the goats and the sheep and the cows and the hogs and you live in the Green Acres life.
Yeah, one of them might run in here in a minute. If it does, just don't pay no attention. Yeah, or a coyote or something. Yeah,
or the cat. I held that cat forever, just like a baby. It just loved on me when I was up there and seen you the other day. Yeah. Well, listen, let's jump into it. Let's go pay some bills and give shout-outs to our sponsors. Go to a commercial break, and we'll come back with the Tennessee Volunteer, Skylar Marlar.
All right, let's do it. That sounds like a plan.
Racetrack Connection is a social media app designed specifically for racing. On the app, you can find a track, find a driver, review and print track schedules, and use the chat feature to communicate with other fans and drivers at any event. There's even a map feature where you can locate racetracks all across the U.S., plus many other features, all for free. Download the Racetrack Connection app today. Donnie Kaufman used to say, "It's good enough to make your tongue slap your brains out, honey." That's what we think about the home cooking at Smokehouse Grill and Buffet in Berea. Choose from the delicious options on their home-style buffet and salad bar, or order from the full menu. Not to mention their desserts and some of the best breakfast you'll ever eat. We promise you'll never be disappointed with this racing family-owned business. Visit their friendly staff and grab a bite to eat. Located just off exit 77 in Berea.
Hi there, I'm Alan Feldhouse Jr., head basketball coach at Madison Central High School. Here at MCHS, we have built a winning team. I'd like to tell you about another local winning team, family-owned and operated Bluegrass Restoration and Construction. They specialize in roofing, general construction, and home maintenance services. Just like on the court, you need a team that will work together to get the job done, and that's exactly what BRC does. Give them a call at 859-353-1133. Road Tribe.
This is Worldwide West Lanham. If you're in the market for a storage building, look no further than our friends at Barton's Insulated Buildings. With nearly 30 years in business, they specialize in insulated storage buildings, mobile home underpinning, garages, and pole barns. With 2 locations at 3739 South Laurel Road in London and 3300 Cumberland Falls Highway in Corbin. Call them today at 606-528-7221 and tell them Worldwide West sent you.
All right. Well, we're joined with here on the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios with Skylar Marlar. Skylar, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, doing good, man, for sure.
I was actually born in Kentucky, if that makes y'all feel any better.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, listen, I don't mind. I already said this might be a Kentucky dirt racing podcast, but we can have the Tennessee Volunteer, Skylar Marlar on here too. If we hurt anybody's feelings, they'll just have to get over it. So
yeah, no, that's cool. I appreciate you guys having us on. So it's a cool deal you guys are doing.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. I know probably about a month ago, I was talking to you in the infield there. I think we was at Lake Cumberland, and you come up to me and said, Wes, I'm mad at you. And it took me off guard, and I said, Skylar, what the heck for? Because you ain't had me on the podcast yet. And I was like, okay, man, we'll get you on.
yeah.
And so I guess the last time we talked, I interviewed you there in Victory Lane. You'd won at Lake Cumberland Speedway. That's probably been, let's see, that was the weekend before the World 100.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend, I guess it was.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend on that Sunday, I believe. So I said, we'll get you on the show. So so glad to have you on. And so whereabouts was you born in Kentucky?
I was born actually in Somerset.
In Somerset.
Yeah, I've got a lot of family here right there in Pulaski County in Somerset. So I was just telling my neighbor here. I was thinking earlier. I've been going to Lake Cumberland to the races up there for 31 years now. So I've been there a time or two.
For 31 years. Now, how old are you?
I'll be 38 here in December.
December the what?
16th.
16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's December the 12th. I'll be 38 December the 12th.
Well, mine's the 19th. We're all within the same week, man.
Yeah.
December 12th, 16th, and 19th. What about that? Yeah,
Well, they say smart and good looking guys is born in the month of December. So this is living proof right here.
Oh, there you go. Well, y'all probably got the same thing happened to you guys. Probably happened to me when you were little. You just got to open up a Christmas present for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hated that, man. It's like,
yeah.
It's kind of
no birthday wrapping paper, nothing like that. It's all Christmas.
No.
Yeah.
No,
birthday and Christmas just was kind of combined, and then my little brother comes along, and he's born July the 6th. He is almost a firecracker baby, and I said, well, this is kind of a bad deal. You get swimming parties outside. I got to go inside to have my pool parties.
I feel you. I'm always been jealous of anybody that's had a birthday during the summer months, So you get all the swim parties, like you said,
Yeah, we gotta find indoor pools to have.
Yeah, we just get like a 2-for-1 birthday Christmas gift. Everybody else gets a pool party. It's like, man, we definitely got the short end of the stick on that.
Sure did. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about your racing career and the season you've had so far. I know you've dabbled in a little bit of. You've run crates, you've run supers, you've run open wheel modifieds, whatever it is. The Marlars will drive it. It don't matter if it's a mini stock to a hobby stock to a super late model. It don't matter. Open wheel modifieds. If it's a race car, heck, they'd race pace trucks and water trucks if they had to.
Yeah, it don't matter. Like you said, we'll race whatever. My dad, he's got 3 or 4 Crown Vics right now, building them for that.
Really?
Race up at Lake Cumberland. Yeah, I don't know who all's driving them, but.
Well, I told David Tilley a couple of weeks ago. I said, find me a car, put me in that 150 laps. Let's go.
Well, we could always put a seat in this Crown Vic, and you could ride with us.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that would be a smart way to put Wes. Really, when it comes down to it, that would be a smart way to put Wes in a race car in the passenger seat. At least break him in, because we had 150 laps. We had the over under. We were talking about it last week on the show. I think it was. I think we were over under 50 laps, and I took the under. So,
Yeah.
We'd have to make a pit stop and drive half the race. One of us then run over, do like a Chinese fire drill, say let's throw a caution, and about, I don't know, 50, 75 laps, and let us switch and run. One of us run the rest of the race. Competition caution, that'd be it.
I don't think I'd want to be sitting in the passenger seat at Lake Cumberland.
No, I'd end up hitting the wall.
Yeah, that's one track that you probably wouldn't want to be sitting in the passenger seat. I'd have to stop at some point and pee, probably. Just kind of take a break. Competition caution.
We'd have you a Gatorade bottle in the car.
Let it loose.
He's leaking fluid now. He can see.
Yeah, I had to take a leak.
So tell us a little bit. I know we laughed about it. I think that was last year. Talking about the modified deal. You've been kind of racing a little bit this year and started last year. I know you rolled into to Richmond Raceway and trying to think what the tags was on the hauler that you drove in there. Was it?
Yeah. It's got Alaska tags on.
Alaska. I said, who the heck's got Alaska plates? So we laughed about that. Then you pulled in back there and was parked next to Chilton. I was like, that's Skylar. You just never know what he's going to roll with.
Anywhere you pull in with an Alaska plates on, you can just see people's mouth. You could see them. They're from Alaska. You can see their reaction, But yeah, so that's Delbert Puro that owned the modified stuff, and he called Mikey, and Mikey was tied up with his schedule, so they called the B team in. They called me, so I found out on Wednesday last year before the Dirt Track World Championship, not the World Championship, the Short Track World Championship.
The short track.
Yeah, and. So I'm talking to this guy and have no clue who he is. And he's like, well, I think we ought to go to Charlotte and race it. So I'm like, all right. So like you said, we'll drive whatever. So I tell my wife and I get Cody and we get down to this guy's shop and he left it unlocked. And 4 o'clock in the morning, we're putting the seat in and pull into Charlotte there on Friday at like 11 o'clock a.m., something like that. And we didn't know that they'd raced on Thursday. So we started in the back of the consolation race and, make a long story short, missed that by 1 spot. But so he's like, well, you might as well just take that stuff home and we'll go to Chillicothe next week. So he's actually they had 2 15,000s and a guy blowed up in front of me and Devin Moran, and Devin hit him and I hit Devin and and it tore it up pretty good. But so we worked on it this winter and got it all ready and just kind of put all my eggs in a basket, to drive that stuff this year. And we raced it a few times, and he actually went back to work in Alaska. And anyway, make a long story short, it didn't work out. So I was sitting there with nothing to drive, and Jamie called me on a Friday and asked me if I wanted to drive his car at Ponderosa. That was at like, I don't know, 1:30 that day or something, and then they're racing that night, and I'm like, I don't care, I'll drive it. So it was a blessing though, So I drove for a lot of good people, and Jamie, me and him, we hit it off really well, and it's worked out. We're trying to build us a little team here and get to where we can go have some fun,
Yeah.
Well, you all definitely hit on something. The last, I don't know, you had some issues. I know I talked to you about that. Had some mechanical issues, earlier in the season once you and him kind of got together, but last 3-4 weeks you've really hit on something and got a fast car for sure.
Yeah. So what we done on that, I told him that I wanted to do something and he was good with it, and I said, well, we're gonna have something to race, we're gonna have to get some equipment, and I told him what we needed, and actually went and bought 2 cars. One of them, I guess the one that we're racing now, I've been sitting for a while. So we just had some trouble, like master cylinder went bad. Then we had an LSD go bad. And then we had a wiring problem. Austin and Jamie, and we couldn't figure out what it was. We changed motors, LSD, coils. I mean, you know how that stuff goes. I mean, just chasing the high end.
Oh,
And
yeah, man.
finally figured it out. And the first time the cars actually ran to full potential was at Rockcastle Labor Day weekend. So, yeah, it's Mikey. He always gets onto us. He shakes his head and tells me, "You're never prepared. Never prepared."
Yeah.
It's just one of them
Yeah.
deals. It just not that we wasn't trying. We just couldn't figure it out. So
Yeah.
it
Well, that
was
kind of leads us into something else too. You kind of led us right in that direction with what you just said about Mikey. So we had Mike on here back in the spring, late winter, I guess it was. But he said you basically you don't think about racing at all. I mean, very, very little of your mind is on racing. You're focused on running a business and doing all kinds of stuff and work and family and everything in between. And he said you're probably you can correct me if I'm right. I think he said something along the lines you're probably the most talented of the bunch, but you don't put it near as much time and thought into it. So I'm just wondering, being the other Marlar on Dirt Racing and the Bluegrass Live, do you have a response to that? Do you agree with that, or is he right in line with what he said?
Well, there's it's both ways.
Yeah.
I do think about racing a lot. I mean, heck, if I financially could just not work and race all the time, you dang straight, that's what I'd be doing. But
Yeah.
but way back when, I decided I'd like to have kids. I mean, heck, the Marlar name's getting a little short, so I got to try to carry on this legacy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so I just, I was actually driving for Ricky and Randy that owns PPM, Ricky, Randy, and Rodney. Ron and Ruth, all of them starts with R's, but I drove for them, and it was actually, a really good ride. But it was just wrong timing. Whenever I decided, me and my wife, we wanted to have kids, here I'm trying to race. We sold our house and was building a house, and we'd opened up another car lot, and just had a lot of things going on, and just didn't have my mind. I pulled out a Smoky Mountain Lucas Oil race, and I was thinking about what car side to put, what color side to put on my house. I just didn't have my head. And I told them, my head wasn't in it, and they told me, if you're not driving it, then we're selling it all. So they actually ended up selling it all, and we're still friends to this day, But if I would have come across that deal, this time of my lifetime, it'd be perfect. Just So I do think about racing a lot. That's all. I try to not think about it because I know that I got to be a grown up here. So but we've always, like I said, heck, I've been going to the races since I was 5-6 years old. So and I got my boys now, they're racing go-karts. So
okay.
So we've got Maverick. He got him a feature win up there at the farm Saturday, but we won't tell too many people. It was just him and his little brother. Nobody else showed up, but he beat his little brother anyway. So, but they like it. Heck, we got a racetrack in our side yard over here. They ride their four-wheelers on, and I mean, it don't matter. We're always racing something. We got to kick, me, Mikey, and Cameron, and some neighbors here, and even my dad. We had some RC cars and had a racetrack over my side yard here a couple years ago. So, we're always racing something. But it's just this, and that's a lot why I decided to do the crate deal, is because the super late model deal just takes up so much time, and it's which all racing does.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. Jeff Watson, Tommy Bailey, all them guys. They take up all their spare time.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother job. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't realize that. But the super late model deal, when you go try to race against guys like my brother and Davenport, I mean, they can walk up to the racetrack, and the crew chiefs watch the cars going down the racetrack, and they just know how to dial it in. I mean, they just know, and they've been there, done that. And in the crate stuff, you still have to have a good car. Don't get me wrong, but and they're hard to win. I mean, you'll hear.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many races, how many times American All Star's been to Lake Cumberland. I haven't won one yet, so it's not like they're easy to win.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to do that super late model deal, and it's the the crate deal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Super Late Model race, but the crate deal, it's more budget friendly, of course, but it just seems to suit me a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it wasn't really that you didn't. I think when Mikey was talking with us, it wasn't that your mind wasn't in the racing deal, but you being the middle child there, Mikey was the oldest and Cameron was the baby, so them two got to go and race and play, and somebody had to work and keep the Marlar name going, have kids, and so I guess all that fell on you, and it's like, well, now you kind of got those things in line with the family and getting your house and everything straight. Now it's like it's time now for Skylar to race and have some fun, I guess.
No, you're right. It's better timing for me. It works out great driving for Jamie because Austin, he keeps the car at his house and he keeps it all up. I went up there a few times and worked, and I don't care. I help buy some stuff and I don't charge anything to drive it. Me and Jamie, we put it all right back into racing what we win.
Yeah.
So me and him's on the same page, and I'm hoping we get through this winter and get a few things dialed in, and next year we can have some fun. We got that blue car, that we're that I don't really know what we're going to do with it exactly. We had a 525 in it at the Harold Hargrove race, so we didn't have no super motor in it, but we had a little more power anyway. But we're kind of on the fence. We're kind of wanting to have us either a steel block car or a supercar, and then also the crate, but basically race the crate, 80% of the time or something,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the 525, I remember and really having that conversation with Mikey and having him on here. We were talking about you, and then we've had other conversations recently. Like someone had asked, what is your nickname? And I remember you having that nickname, the Tennessee Volunteer. I hadn't heard it in a long time, honestly. I haven't heard that in years, it doesn't seem like. But I haven't been in the grandstands either. But I remember back around the Nazareth days that when a lot of you guys were running those 525 motors was really big in that series, kind of what CJ based that series around. But you had some really good good times back then. I mean, you were fast back then. You've always been fast, but I remember the Tennessee Volunteer in some dominating times around here back during the Nazareth days in a super late model at least.
Yeah, Donnie Goo. Remember Donnie Goo?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, he came up with that, and he actually made some T-shirts, and it had. Where we live on the state line, we've got, Tennessee, Kentucky, back and forth. Of course, I'm a Tennessee fan, so.
Oh, man, I hate that for you. Yeah.
So my cousin works with us there at the car lot, and especially during basketball season, if Tennessee wins, I'll get there before him, and he gets there early.
Yeah.
And, I'll roll a speaker outside, and I'll put on Rocky Top, and I'll have balloons. I'll make a big deal out of it. Yeah, so I guess that's how that came about. But yeah, going back to the Nazareth days, that was kind of something that Terry English was actually supposed to drive that car, and I don't know what happened. But next thing I know, CJ Rayburn was calling me, and I was going to Florida to race. So
okay,
yeah, so it actually had a number 96 on it for a little while, but we got down to East Bay and we ran third the first night. Won the next night and ran fourth the final night, fourth or fifth, somewhere around there. But when we went to leave, the guy that drove me down, he actually got a job working for somebody down there. So he was staying in Florida, and I went over and told Rayburn, and I was like, Brian, he quit. He says he's staying down here. I said, I don't have nobody to drive me home. He's like, well, son, you can drive a race car. Show it to goodness you can drive that holler. So by the time I got to about Atlanta, I was a truck driver,
Right, yeah. Figured it out by Atlanta. Well, it's a good thing you figured it out by then, because Atlanta can be sketchy driving through anyway. So yeah, that's a good thing you figured it out.
Yeah, that was a fun year. We run them back then. We run them 525s. Nobody run the E85. We ran it on pump gas. The tire roll was 1600s across the rear and 1350s on the front. We had about 6 tires in a tire rack. So we didn't have no money. Me and Robbie Floyd, and we just, if there was a race, we was headed to it. We raced, I don't know. I think I raced 55 times that year, I think is what I'd raced. And we had like 15, 16 feature wins. So we had a really good year with practically nothing, honestly. And we just, Robbie Floyd here, he's messaging us right and tell them boys how many motor swaps we done that season, Skylar.
I saw that. I had to pull that up there.
We tore up a few, that's for sure. But Rayburn, he had one, and basically ours was lapped out, and Rayburn, going back and looking at it, we're kind of in that situation now. I mean, I say nobody, but a lot of people can afford those motors, and not everybody can just go out and buy a wide board anymore.
Yeah.
So, but that's exactly what I mean. The other night at Lake Cumberland, I had a stock 525, and that's what I had in. When we run second, and everybody kept telling me, well, if you had a little more motor, I believe you won, and that wasn't really the case. My car just needed to be a little better. The motor wasn't a problem. Josh was just a little better than we were, but there needs to be something done in racing as far as the motors go, and I don't, regionally anyway.
That's kind of what I was wondering about, because I think CJ's sort of vision behind that, if I remember correctly, was to, like I said, base that series around the 525s and give regional racers sort of another option, base the rules around giving an advantage, some advantage to those motors, and just sort of provide a sort of, because you got crates today, but I just wonder, is there something in between that we could do for regional late model racing? Because we see national racing is thriving. I mean, there's great racing nationally, cars showing up everywhere, probably more competition nationally than there's ever been before, while local and regional is just going, I mean, it's next to going away. I mean, it's tough on guys right now.
Yeah.
I wonder, is there something I wish there's something that could be done.
I think they are. I think that the steel box stuff that they do, but because here's the situation with crates. I mean, let's be honest. How many people shows up to watch crates? Everybody wants to hear the rumble and the sound of a super late.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
I'm one of them. I mean, these crate cars sound way better than they used to, but they just, and honestly, we turned, I seen Justin Smith at Ponderosa last year. He had a fast time in late models at Ponderosa.
He sure did. Yeah.
And I was like fifth quick. So I mean, it ain't that they really go that much slower. They just ain't as cool. So
yeah, we talked about that not long ago. I mean, I think when it like what we miss, and I heard Mark Martin talk about that even with NASCAR now. He said they've tuned these cars down in NASCAR even so much where, NASCAR cars don't even sound the same. They've took so much horsepower away from even them. And Mark was saying, I just miss the raw sound of that open motor going down a racetrack. And like when it comes to supers versus crates, I think Wes, as fans, like you guys, that's what we miss is just that thump and that thunder under your feet, the sound of an open super late model motor. Is really when it comes to that's what we miss when it comes between crates put on a great show. You just don't have the sound.
And there's nothing like standing there when the cars are fixing to leave, to go to the lineup shoot, boom, I mean firing up and that gets you going, and that's what you're right, Skylar. I mean, we love the crate 604 pro late model racing. It's really, really good competition. And the more cars that's being built, it's just making it that much better. And us as fans, yes, we do love that. But, you take it a step more with the super racing. And that's, that's what we really want. But, I mean, you got to say, though, especially like last year, this year, the crate racing across the country has just been really, really good. Whether it is, local, regional, whether it's the series that we have, there's, 3 or 4 crate series that do a good job. but as far as affordability, that's where it is local and regional right now. Where super stuff is thriving, but regional's tough, and more so national level. You look at Lucas Oil, World Outlaws, XR. Stuff's really good there, but it's really tough local and regional. Just back to the money issue.
Yeah. When you see a national truck and trailer going on the road, if you count what's inside the trailer, I mean, you're looking in the truck, you're looking at $1 million going down the road.
Every bit of it.
That's
exactly right.
So, and the motors are $45,000. So $45,000, I mean, that's hard enough to come up with once. What if you blow it up? Or that's the problem. But like my crate car, it's about a $25,000 car, race ready.
Yeah.
It could go anywhere in the country and win.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's capable of that. But the steel block deal like they do around here, I really can't believe that it hasn't took off more here where we live, because they run a 362 steel block. It's got to be 23 degree, and them motors can be expensive. I mean, they're $25,000, but it ain't $45,000.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah, and they got that cool sound, and they go fast. So
yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know if that is the solution, but then that's kind of what we talked about. We talked about if we buy, say, a really good run on 362 steel block motor, we can go to Lake Cumberland, Richmond. Ponderosa is kind of iffy because sometimes Ponderosa takes some motor.
Yeah.
We can go to Wartburg. You've got I-75, Smoky Mountain. They have all them steel block races.
Yeah.
I mean, Eldora's got a steel block race this year. It's a dirt track.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jamie, we're foaming out the mouth. We're trying to come up with something. So
yeah,
we take the 525. I don't think it's got enough power to keep up there. But
yeah,
I don't know the solution to it. And even like the modified deal, I've seen some comments here lately about how much the modifieds are. And the modified that I was driving there, the guy I drove for, he bought him a new Longhorn. That's a $70,000 race car.
Yeah.
That's in modifieds. I remember when I had a modified, I don't think I had 20,000 in it race ready. But
yeah, right.
But I don't know the ins and outs or what a person needs to do. I'm not a promoter. I don't know. I'm just a racer. But we can all see that something needs to be somebody needs to step up and try to do something.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Like, you just feel like at some point somebody's going to have to come together, do something, make a decision now, because the forecast doesn't look good. And like the longer we keep it going, if something doesn't change, it's not going to get better with what we're trying to do right now. One thing I've seen a couple of comments here on our show, and I've seen a lot of this on just Facebook posts and people talking about it. So I want to talk about this real quick too, because one of the suggestions people seem to have when it comes to not just late model racing but just racing in general is decrease the winning purse amount, right? Instead of paying $15,000 to win, pay $7,000 to win, and pay more through the field. Like I heard someone say, pay $5,000 to win and pay $1,000 to start. My only concern with that is, though, when it comes to supers, even with supers, with where they are now, what it costs to race them, I mean, is $1,000 to start? Like, you're talking about $1 million going down the road. It ain't there.
Yeah, Josh Rice is not getting his car out of the trailer for $5,000.
Yeah,
that's just it. Them super shows should pay minimum of 10. I don't know if they're talking rates or what they're talking about, but as far as super late model goes, minimum 10,000.
Yeah.
You can do 1,000 to start or whatever. I don't really know, but the crate deals. I think the crate purse is awesome right now.
Yeah.
We're racing for 5,000 this weekend. I think they had it pretty much. You can go race for $2,500, $3,000 almost every weekend in a crate car. You'll find
you can, yeah.
So I think the crate is spot on. everything that the American All Stars doing and everybody's doing. I mean, I don't think they could do it any better.
Yeah.
But as far as super late model goes, basically what's going to happen if we don't watch it? You're going to have Lucas Oil and Water Outlaws, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you want to go see, it's going to be like NASCAR. If you want to go see a super late model show, you're going to have to go find one of them series and go watch. Right. Which that might be the best. I don't really know, but
yeah,
sure. Let's talk to me. That's where it's headed.
That's my concern too. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And then it's like, okay, if that ends up being the case, what is the answer for our local tracks? For example, the Butterball, the Harold Hargrove, all those. I mean, eventually, do they become a crate show? I mean, where does that head? In 5 years, 10 years, relatively short amount of time, because that's my fear. As well as it gets to the point to where there's not enough. I mean, we're to the point now to where, Wes, we talk about it all the time. If these bigger paying shows, you're talking about 15,000, 20,000 to win, and we're sitting here saying, man, if they can get 20 cars, 25 cars, that'll be a good field. And it's not going to get any better. I mean, 5 years from now, what are we going to be saying? If they can get 10, man, let's get 10. Yeah, I mean, that's not what we want, I don't think.
And it's tough. It's because you look, with Ironman Late Model Series and Ultimate Heart of America. I mean, those guys are busting their tails, working so hard, and putting on good shows. But the car counts just ain't there for what they're doing. And even they some high paying shows, and it's tough, like you said, just to get. You're like, and we'd be lucky to get 20, 25 cars. But that's just where we're at, locally and regionally. And it's tough. Not that they don't put on a good show, but you talk like back in when we did talk Battle of the Bluegrass, heck far, they would be, 40, 50, 60 late models show up for a 3,000 to win show back then.
Yeah.
And Skylar, you remember that. And
yeah, I remember going to Lake Cumberland. They paid $1,500 to win, and they was like 41 late models.
Yeah,
for $1,500 to win.
You didn't know who's going to show up. Best of the best roll in there. Run for $1,500 that night and run 15,000 the next.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just got to stay positive, keep supporting our local, regional, our series. But you got to keep moving in the right direction, because I definitely don't want to see it go completely away.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot of the world we live in, too. It's just, I had a soda truck today, and it was almost $30,000. It was a 3/4 ton gas truck with 175,000 miles on it, and this truck's almost $30,000.
Oh man, I know.
Who would have thought that? It's just, I think it's just the world we live in, and I don't know that it can be fixed. And like you said, Chris Till and them guys, I mean, they're doing all they can do.
Sure.
They're begging for cars. But honestly, you mentioned just having 10 late models. If you take the crates out, there's probably only 10 supers.
Well, that's been the case a time or two. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially at some of these places, you take the crates and the steel blocks out. Like in some of these places that run some of both. You're definitely right on that. And in some places, like we've talked about this before, Wes, like Southern Ohio, Southern Indiana. I mean, you can get a few more late models. It seems like for those shows around there. Just because I think there's still right now more late models in that area than there are down here. But eventually, as the trend keeps going, that's just gonna. I mean, it's not going up. Like there can't be more people regionally and locally getting into super late model races than there are guys falling out. That's just not the way it's working. So I don't know if there's a solution, but
and then you talk to some guys that they're like, I'm not going to go down and run a crate. I'm either going to run a super or not race at all. Yeah. I've heard that this year, and it's like, well, there may come a time that you have have to buy you a crate motor and put that in, and because you're not going to have a, unless you want to jump on the touring series or run a handful of races with, Lucas or World Outlaws. I don't know.
Michael Chilton's he's just exactly what you said. I've told him, man. I said, you're going to get you a crate car. And he's like, I'll quit before I drive a crate car.
Yeah.
But, if Michael Chilton's got a crate car, he's racing for $5,000 this weekend.
I know, man.
That's
instead, Michael Chilton's got to go race against Lucas Oil Gas.
Yeah, I know.
I ain't saying he can't do it, but Michael Chilton drives a truck every day.
Yeah.
Mike Marlar's up here, got his shocks and springs tore apart working on them every day. So that's the difference. You can't.
Right.
How's he going? I mean, there ain't no doubt Michael can probably drive just as good as any of them, but he's shifting gears all day every day. So he's that's the stuff you get into. Like this crate deal, you can work during the week and go race for $5,000 on the weekend. So it's where it's headed. It's the crates grow. They're growing more and more. I wouldn't doubt that. How many cars do you think Lake Vermont will have Saturday?
I'm gonna say 30.
I'm thinking 30, 35.
Yeah.
I think that's about right.
And what you like about that crate car is, or what I like about it is all the little things you can do to make it go faster. Setup wise, because that car has to be tight, but it can't be too tight. It's got to be free enough to keep speed, to keep momentum. So there's a lot of things you can do to that motor that's got 430 horsepower, car wise, to make your car handle better and go faster, carry speed.
Right.
But I'm getting off subject there, but it's just what you said, Wes. There's a lot of these guys that don't have that says I won't race a crate, and I was one of those guys.
Oh, really?
That, but heck, when I got him one, and I told Michael this just the other day. Me and him talk. We talk on Mondays. I told him we're going to have to get this podcast going. But,
no, you guys just come on ours. Don't get another one going.
Yeah, they'll put us out of business, Wes. We can't have them two getting. Yeah.
I mean, like us competing against, the Scott Blomqvist social hour, happy hour, whatever you want to call it. We can't compete with that. So, no, you guys just keep coming on ours off and on.
We got plenty of screen room here. Yeah, you all just, just hop on board. We'll happily move over and
you can just drive them so hard and race so hard. It's actually pretty fun. I mean, you go watch it on camera. Daggone, them things look like you're going around there pretty slow, but when you're in them, it feels like you sure are going fast. So,
yeah, I imagine it does, and I've said that for a long time too. Like Michael Chilton, for example, you, all of you guys that we've watched for years in Supers. I have, honestly, over the last couple of years around here, I feel like it took a while for crate racing to really kind of take off here. And it seems that way with everything here in Central Kentucky. It seems like it takes just a little bit longer for everything to take off than it does other places like down in East Tennessee and, around there. Like we talked about Indiana, Ohio, some of those places. But as you guys venture over the crates, I think it has helped the fan response to crate late model racing. Like it's definitely better now than it was 2 or 3 years ago. People are coming out now a whole lot more than they were just a short period of time. And if guys like Michael Chilton go to a crate, you guys can put on a show, whether you're in a super or you're in a crate, it don't matter. And I think people are going to show up to watch it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's growing. And I think a lot of that, is just this American All-Stars. That's really opened it up. I mean, it opened my eyes up. Actually, my car, the 50 Cent car that I had last year, I had a D3 Ford supermotor in it. And I raced it once, and I was sitting there thinking in the back of my mind, if this thing blows up, I'm done. I'm out. So it was fresh. It ran good, and then Frank Hickenez bought it off of me, and I put that crate motor in there and hit hard. I mean, the first weekend we raced for $5,000,
Yeah.
So, then I was kind of hooked, at what can I do to make this thing just a little faster. It's kind of what I'm always thinking on it. And, everybody thinks we've got 750 horsepower. And I think Jamie thought I was one of those guys too. But, I told Jamie, I was like, there's no way in heck that I'm cheating one of the motors up because it's not happening. It's not in me. We'll do everything we can do to make it faster. I said, but it's got to be legal. So,
yeah.
But they're fun. I mean, I guarantee you, if we have Michael Chilton in there this weekend in a 604, we could have some fun. So,
yeah.
I
think so.
We've got to get him in one. I know Chilton's been the super driver from day one, but I think we keep persuading him. Maybe we get him in.
I think
one.
everybody listening to this show right now, we've got quite a few people on here right now. Everybody listening to this show right now, send Michael Chilton a message on Facebook and tell him we need you in a crate. Just send it right now, and let's see if we can't get that motion going right now. Go ahead, send him a message on Facebook. Say we need you in a crate. That's all you got to say. If he gets let's say 70 people sending him that message, he'll think, what in the world is happening? But we might get somewhere. I think it'd be fun. I really do. I mean, I would enjoy it.
And I know he's raced one a time. He's raced them a couple times. But,
he has.
Not just hey, jump in the car and go.
We're talking about a commitment to it, yeah.
Well, you got what? You got Ratliff from one now. He raced.
Yeah.
Got Tommy
Bailey.
Yeah.
Watson.
Me and Dustin Linville, we actually talked about the, he's like, heck, I might just get rid of my super stuff and just focus on this crate deal. I mean, heck, I can, he's another. There's another prime example of the super late model. It's just a motor situation. He lost his motor, and what do you do?
Right. Yeah.
Unless you can go to the freezer and get $45,000 out of there every time. It's a little hard to do.
Yeah, Jeremy posted the MCM Michael Chilton Motorsports page. Don't message that page. I don't even think he knows that page. He don't fool with that. Send him a message on his Facebook profile, Michael Chilton. Send him a personal message, not to the page, because he might not see it there. But
if you got his cell phone number, text him right now.
Yeah, if you got his cell phone number, text him.
We're giving you a little shout out, Chilton, the wild child.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's great. He's gonna love it. My phone's probably blowing up now.
Yeah,
he's asleep. It's 9:00.
Yeah,
he gets up about 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll get him in the morning then. It'll be all right.
He'll get him in.
Yeah.
We've got to be friends. I tell you how we got to be buddies is we was actually racing. We was doing a Nazareth deal, and we was at Lake Cumberland. And I won on Friday night. It was I think it was the Lake Cumberland Classic and then the Harold Hargrove. I don't really remember how that went, but I had won on Friday night, and Justin Ratliff was leading, and I passed him. And, back then he had a Bloomquist car, and here I just had this old 525 and a Rayburn, right?
Yeah.
Well, so the next night, same scenario. I'd caught Ratliff, and he was leading, and I done an old dirty slider on him and didn't clear him, and yeah, I about beat my carburetor off, but so I had to go to the back. I was coming back to the front, and I'd slid Michael, and felt like it was a pretty clean slide job, And I was driving the guy's modified after the late model features over with. I ended up finishing second. Greg Johnson won, and I'm going down the back straight on this modified, trying to get my helmet all buckled, my seatbelts tightened up, because I'm starting on the front row of this modified race too, and. Michael Chilton, he was giving me some hand signals down the back straight away.
You tell me he was number one.
Yeah. So, I got his number there, and I called him. I was like, "Hey, man," I said, "I don't really understand why you're mad at me." He's like, "I went back and watched the video. You didn't do nothing wrong. I was just frustrated because you passed me." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So ever since then, we've been really good friends. We've had kids around the same time, and we talk a lot, so we actually don't really talk about racing a whole lot, but just kind of buddies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
That's good when y'all a lot of times are racing against each other. 9 times out of 10, you're parked right next to each other in in the pit area, so that's good too. Kind of help each other a little bit.
Yeah, we let the kids and stuff we let them hang out and play and all that jazz. But we got a race together up there at the Harold Hargrove race, so that was fun. And so I don't pass him very much, but sometimes I got to rub it in when I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, I imagine being friends with someone, it has to make it just a little bit more fun to when you end up on the right side of the deal for the night. Anyways, it has to make it a little more fun.
Yeah, it does. It does and it don't, because I used to race him a whole lot harder than I do now. I'm afraid to take him out, or he's probably the same way against me. But it's almost like racing one of my brothers. Like Mikey, he's got all the pressure on him, because I want to beat him.
Yeah.
But then he's worried about his little brother the whole time, So
yeah.
And that's how it is with Cameron. Cameron, I can't even really focus when I race against him because I'm scared to death something's going to happen to him. So
yeah.
But that's when you race against your friends, it is fun. But it's a whole lot cleaner racing anyway. We'll say that.
Yeah. We need to get Mikey in a crate too at some point, just to come down here and get
we'll get him in the crate.
get dirty, just have some fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, he can't. He would probably win. He wins literally everything I've seen him do as far as racing goes. He wins. So
yeah,
we can get on a video game and he'll take off and just just natural. So
I hadn't played in 10 years, and it's like you just come out and yeah. I know people like that too.
That's
they really.
Yeah. Well, something you was talking about. Big weekend at Lake Cumberland this weekend. So you got the big hobby stock race too. I'd say your dad's probably chomping at the bit, ready for it.
Yeah, he's they had a little incident the last time he raced up there, so he's he's on the frame rack, and he's they've been working really hard. So he looks forward to that every year, and it's that's such a good class, because,
I love it.
Because them guys, them cars where they're on them tires, they just don't handle good, and they're honestly about to wreck every lap.
Yeah.
Because they handle so bad, just because they have no tire on them. And them guys, it's amazing if you go back and you think about when they first started racing those up there to now, how much faster that they are, how hard they're driving them, and not the car count.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've been having 20 plus. I think up at Lake Cumberland, I think they had like 28 or 29 of them there one night. So
yeah,
it's a good class. We got to remember that they're called hobby stocks. It's supposed to be for a hobby,
right? Right.
And it does only pay $400 to win. So
yeah.
So there's they had that incident the last time. It was just they're both just racing hard, but they're so fun to watch, and he scares me. He's 65-year-old now, so
right.
He gives it his all out there, that's for sure. And I'm fortunate that he lets us get out, and if anybody really knew how hard that guy worked for us, for his kids, he don't do it for him. He's just a really good guy and a good dad. He takes care of us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you look 1,500 to win Saturday night. It wouldn't surprise me if there's 30 in the house, at Lake Cumberland on Saturday hobby stocks. I think it's 100 lapper if I'm not mistaken.
I think he won it last year actually, so he'll be trying to redeem himself this year. He hasn't won one at Lake year.
I didn't realize that, but yeah, I guess that's true, and it's kind of crazy too. I know he won one at Thunder Mountain, and he's won a few others, but he at Ponderosa, but he won at Thunder Mountain. I got to interview him there that night, and so that was cool. I imagine you talked about racing with your brothers, being there at the racetrack with your brothers, but it's got to be like, what's it like for you being there with your dad, helping him, watching him, all that? What's that like?
Well, it's, like I said, I've been going up there. He started racing in 91, in them same cars and them Camaro. And I've got to watch him race against Tom Kurtzinger and Joey Daniels and, all those guys. So what's really cool about it now is you see him, we lettered that car up. That looks like his car from 1991.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I knew that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why it's painted like that. So now, to top it all off, my boys help him on that car all night. So now my dad race, and I'm sitting there looking at them, checking his air pressure and putting his mud caps on, things like that. And that's things that I did when I was their age.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. If it's just our whole racing family. I mean, we get along really well. We all live right here in the same street. We're fortunate enough to be able to get a race and have a lot of fun doing it. So it's and it makes Dad proud. He just see us go race and win as him to race. There's a lot of times we have to be like, oh, you should go race, but he feels like that he should go work versus having fun. But now he'll have his game face on up there Saturday. So
he'll be. Yeah. I bet he's been focused all week.
Yeah, he got him some. He had eye surgery there last year. Had LASIK eye surgery, so he can see a little better now. But he's that was his big adjustment this winter. He said.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I heard now. I imagine you talking about going to the races with your dad and being there. I mean, you mentioned he's 65 now. He's still out there wheeling a race car. You were out there helping him back in 91. Are you a little protective over him? Because I wasn't there, but I heard you might have got a little heated. You mentioned the little run in. You might have got a little heated there Saturday night too. I don't know, I wasn't there, but that's just what a little birdie told me.
The wreck didn't bother me actually. The wreck, it is what it is. They were just racing hard, right? But he gets a little love tap every now and then, and he gets hit pretty hard, just and I'm just like, it hurts his back, right?
Oh, I got you.
So I just told Craig, I'm like, man, every time you hit him like that, it kills his back. Just kind of ease up there. He is 65-year-old, which he's out there pre-game or whatever, so it wearing that bumper out, that's actually what had me more frustrated than
Oh
him.
yeah.
Well, you look at it, so I look at it. I've got a younger brother. So, emotions gonna run high when, you're racing with your brother or, they're racing and you're watching in there. But then when it comes old Dad out there, I guess that those emotions go a little bit higher, and they kind of got the best of you there Saturday.
I could imagine it would, yeah.
I think you probably done that without thinking. That might have been one of them out of body, because I was looking, I'm like, here goes Skylar. Where's he going? So I'm like, get the door and run back in the infield. I'm like, oh God.
But it is what it is. When I walked up Craig, he took his helmet off, and he probably rung his bell a little bit when he wrecked. Honestly, I mean, it was a bad. The thing about those guys is
Craig says you was the first guy to come check on him. Yeah, he was.
Craig and Chad. I mean, they take it serious, and we all take it serious. We all want to win, right? But they make that hobby stock class. They make it really competitive. There is what makes it. They make everybody thrive to go back to try to make their cars faster. So that's why I tell everybody. I said, you got to have the 29 car there to make the hobby stock, right? That's what makes that class. And I've got you all know Randy Hacker that's got he's got Cameron's wrap on there now.
I love it. Yeah.
So I've known Randy for a long time, and that's all he talks about is that hobby stock. I mean, he loves it, and Randy's one of these guys where he's kind of in and out of hobbies, and he's really stuck to this one. So, I'm sitting outside looking in. All these guys, Chad and Randy and my dad. I mean, they're way more serious than they probably should be with them hobby stocks. But heck, they're like all of us. They just love it,
that class, I'm telling you, I mean, that is the funnest. That's the best class at Lake Cumberland Speedway, hands down. And all them guys, I love them all, and they race hard, they work hard. They work
Mm-hmm.
40, 50, 60 hours a week on a job, and then work on that race car every time they got a second. And I'm telling you, the action, and I mean, it don't matter if they're racing for 400 or 1500.
Yeah.
They're going to race every lap like it's their last and race hard, and that's what we love about it.
If you look up in the stands now, when it's hobby stock feature time, there's still a lot of high ends sitting up there. So
Exactly.
So that tells you that the racing's pretty good, and it's it's Craig they talked to maybe like about the crate late model stuff, and it's just that I'm telling you, if my dad didn't have a hobby stock, I would be up there this weekend in a hobby stock racing for that 1500. They look like they're that fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you mentioned there about Randy with Cameron's wrap. I saw that and I thought this is great.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
See that, Bilstein shocks 99 on the car, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, he's really got to where he can drive that car really good. He's impressed me I was watching him qualify up there at Lake Cumberland, and I was thinking, I was like, daggone, this guy, I remember when he drove a Chevette and he couldn't line up, and he's wheeling.
Yeah, couldn't line it up. All right, Wes. I know I told you I'd let you drive tonight, but I ain't staying on here till 11 o'clock. It's getting close to my bedtime.
I know it is.
Drive us home here, buddy. I know if it's up to you, we'd be on here till midnight.
Jumping Josh Chastain has to get his beauty sleep.
Yeah,
he has to have at least 8 hours of sleep, and then when he wakes up, he's got to drink about 2 pots of coffee.
Yeah,
I mean he's got it down to a science. But
you're spot on.
We can't stay on here all night, but Skylar, we just want to thank you for coming on and give you opportunity. I know you got a great family that supports you, but go ahead and thank you sponsors that help you get it done each and every week.
Yeah, well, we gotta thank the old car owner for sure. Superior Drywall, that's his business, and Austin works for him, so sometimes he might let Austin leave work and go work on the race cars. So yeah, we gotta thank Austin, and Jamie, and Brennan, and JJ, all them guys that help on the car. Let's see, we got Steve Caton. He's on the car there. He's a big help. Bilstein shocks, some guys down there, they're really good help. Profab headers, excess batteries. Well, I think that's about it. I think I got everything. Oh, all the guys in at Longhorn, I got to appreciate them. Them guys are top notch. You called in there, order some stuff, they'll get you took care of. So yeah, and I appreciate you guys and American All Stars. Brandon Hardgrove, I think Brandon, we've left him plumb out here for putting on this show. I mean, heck, Fari, he's always paying some money for us to go out there and have some fun. So I'd like to thank him and appreciate you guys for what you guys have been doing for us.
Well, you're very welcome. We loving it, and had a good year. I know we still got a little time left this season, but it has absolutely flew by. I mean, you look at this year and I don't know how many races we've been to this year, but it's probably been a record year, and just having fun doing what we're doing, and we can't do it without our sponsors, our fans, our drivers, our promoters, our track owners, just having a blast doing it and loving every minute of it.
Yep.
Well, I guess that'll conclude our segment here with the Tennessee Volunteer, Skylar Marlar. He'll be wheeling that 257 car on Saturday night at Lake Cumberland Speedway. American All-Stars, 5,000 to win. Hopefully putting that baby in victory lane.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to talk to him for the race. So
yeah,
we'll keep.
It should be a dandy. I 30, 35 crates should be in the house, and every one of them capable of winning it. So should be a great show on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have all your locals, and of course, you got Zach Zeiss. We're going to put Zach Zeiss in his place, or you're going to have to put him second on back somehow or another here. So
he's definitely they call him Mr. Kentucky for a reason. I still call him Goldilocks, but
yeah.
Man, he's been hot. He's been hot down there this year in that 9 car.
Him, and you got the Lowe and Dietz. All them guys they've been running well. You know, like I said, we got Limble. I'm sure Bailey will be there, and Watson, and so this is going to be Ross White. He texted me earlier. He bought Mikey's old Longhorn, so he'll be up there this weekend.
Is Ross coming? I've not watched Ross White race, and gosh, it's been been a couple years. Yeah, but I did see that I didn't know whose car he had bought, but I seen that he was back in a car, and that's good to see. How many years has it been? Probably 5 or 6 years.
I would say, something like that.
Something like that. I can remember him racing, all over Kentucky and Tennessee. Well, that's good. Should be a stacked field of cars.
Yeah, get all the fans out there, get all the support we can get. I think it'll be weather looks good, so should be no excuses here. We should have a pretty good show.
Yeah. I think all the fields will have good car counts this weekend.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
I'm with you. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And Wes is going to be there. Are you doing Victory Lane interviews again? Or are you going to?
I don't know. It's a good possibility.
Yeah.
I've had people asking if I was going to do Victory Lane, or if I was going to be in the tower announcing, singing the national anthem. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. I just hope everything works out. I can be there. That's the plan. I got to work on Saturday, so I'll be rolling in on 2 wheels if everything works out and I can make it. But that's the plan anyway, that Worldwide West will be there at Lake Cumberland Speedway on Saturday with all my rowdy friends.
Yeah. With all your rowdy friends.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there looking west at that piano in the background. You're singing a national anthem. You got to, you the next Morgan Wallen, or what we got here?
Everybody's wanting me to play that piano. I've had text messages, people messaging on here. My mommy tried to teach me how to play the piano many, many, many moons ago. Now, I can sing, but I can't play no instrument. If I was able to play a guitar and play a piano, I probably wouldn't be on a podcast. I'd be in Nashville, but that never worked out. So now I'm on a podcast, dirt racing in the bluegrass live, and loving every minute of it.
Well, that's easy. All you gotta do is sing and just act like you play the guitar, right?
Yeah, just do this right here.
I heard him singing on the way to. I heard him singing country music on the way to Eldora a couple of weeks ago. He didn't have no shot at Nashville. He might make it at Rockcastle for the national anthem, but
I have no shot.
No shot. None. Yeah, just stick to a dirt racing podcast. You'll be all right.
I'm gonna stick to it.
Well, John Sandlin says Josh looks sleepy. Y'all call each other all night and let him go to bed. So, yeah, if it's up to West, that's what it'd come down to, no doubt.
Oh, shoot. Well, thanks again, Skylar, for coming on our show tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night.
Yeah, for sure, buddy.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
All right. The Tennessee Volunteer, Skylar Marlar. Fun show, Josh. Just tickled to have him on. And like I said, that was funny. A couple of weeks ago, he told me he was mad at me and wanted to come on the show. So just cool to get to talk to him. And now we're going to have David and Cameron on the show. We've had Mikey and Skylar. We don't want them two to be left out. So we'll have to find a show to have both of them on and complete the Marlar family.
Yeah, maybe at some point we could add that to our list, and just have the go to them. He said they all live there on the same street. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just go to them and get them all in one room. They've got a shop there. We've got the equipment here to be able to do it, and just sit there and talk to all of them. I think
really
that'd be
cool.
a fun conversation. Maybe we can add that to our to-do list for this off season. On
Maybe do that in the winter. That would be fun. Go down and visit with them and just talk racing, and that would be a cool deal. Yeah, let's add that to our list of show ideas.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. It really would. No doubt about it. But yeah, cool to have him on here. Like I said, I mean, I've watched him race for years, and he's always been able to wheel a race car with the best of them. You know, it's funny, he says, just really a different path when it comes down to it. You know, decided to have kids and have a family, and I think he's right. Like I mean, most people don't realize the amount of time and effort in racing in general, you know, especially when your kids are a certain age, and I'm because that's with anything you do. I mean, you know, I've got a 7-year-old right now that plays soccer and baseball at the same time, and he plays soccer, baseball, basketball. Just a lot going on, and a lot of things you don't want to miss out on, and like sometimes you have to make a choice, you know, for yourself to not miss out on those important years. But he definitely has the talent and the skill and the knowledge and support there with his family. You know, if he chose the other path, he probably could have done anything he wanted to do. I mean,
that's exactly right.
You know, I think it's easy to say that he could have been, where Mike is now. There could be two Marlars to deal with on the national scene.
Yeah, but, very, very possible, and it is cool, and I know we've seen it throughout the years. It's really cool when all three of them show up and get to race against each other, and you've got Mikey, Skylar, and Cameron, all three in the pit area, parked side by side, you know, racing wherever it is in the country. It's cool to see, and I've seen several pictures of that and been there, you know, at those particular races. And then the icing on the cake is when David gets to race with them as well. And and just the support, like, they're competitive if they're racing against each other, but the support that family has for each other in the racing deal is cool, and it was awesome to hear, you know, Skylar talking about how much his dad David has worked, you know, hard for them as his kids, you know, to be able to race and to enjoy that. So just a cool family, and a ton of racing history there with those four guys, and it'd be cool to go down there to Winfield, Tennessee, and shoot a show with them, and just sit there and just talk racing. With maybe snow flying, you know, just a cool deal. So we'll have to see if we can get that lined up.
Yep. It would certainly be a whole lot of fun. Well, you've got some catching up to do, Wes.
I do.
Well, you're driving the show. I can't just go and start taking over.
You can't. Listen, I'm still in the lead by about a car length and a half for this particular show. I'm still running the show.
You're in the lead.
We do have to pick a winner for Saturday night's race at Lake Cumberland Speedway, American All Stars, 5,000 win, Crate Lake Model Show. I know I'm down. Is it 9-6 or 10-6?
It's 10-6.
I believe it's 10-6.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna give you, since I'm running the show tonight, I'm gonna give you first pick, and I'm fixing to make a huge comeback right here. I've got you right where I want you, as the saying goes, and I'm gonna make a comeback right here, and I'm gonna win. So I'm gonna give you first pick, and I know probably pretty sure who you're gonna pick. So let's hear it, Jumping Josh.
Well, I mean, it's really a tough thing for me because I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for you, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said last week, this is just about become a blowout. I'm about to lap you at this point. It's just it's kind of, I just sort of feel like it's just a matter of time at this point. It's just, we're kind of at the point right now where we're just carrying out the year because I've already got my steak dinner basically. But when it comes to the race this weekend, man, it's tough because I've picked Zach Seiss every time we've picked pro late models at Lake Cumberland, and he has not. He's won every time. I think I'm 2 for 2 on picking Zach Seiss. It's really hard to go against him at this point. He's just been really good, but I think when it comes down to it, yeah, I know. I mean, when you get a league like I've got, you got to get a little bit of, I call it confidence. I wouldn't call it cockiness, but just some confidence.
Anything can happen. I mean, that late race caution, I mean, could have a tire issue. You could blow a right front. I mean, anything can happen. So yeah, he's cocky, confident, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna pass him on the last lap coming out of 4.
Yeah, it could happen, but it probably won't. But yeah, I mean, I think I do. I think it's hard to go against him, but I'm gonna go with Skylar Marlar. I'm getting off the Zach Seiss train on this one. I'm going to go with Skylar Marlar.
I can't believe
he said,
going against him.
Well, he said himself they just got that car, like it hadn't run exactly the way they wanted it to, motor-wise. He talked about having the issue with the MSD and trying to get all that figured out, figure out what it was. But Skylar's, he's hard to beat. And just, there's been times that you thought, man, he's going to get up there with these pro late big races at Lake Cumberland, and he's going to have something to say about it. It hasn't worked out that way so far this year, but I think Saturday night is the night, $5,000, and he gets it done.
Well, that's a really good pick, and he has had those mechanical issues, and since they've got all that lined out, and he's been knocking on the door, and has gotten some wins, run some second places, couple podium finishes there, looked really, really good. So that's a great pick. And not just saying that because we had him on the show tonight, but he has looked really good probably the last month and a half. And wherever he's went and ran, he's looked really good. Man, and as I said earlier, it's going to be a tough field, and it's tough to pin down who do you want to pick to win, because I need a win in the worst way.
I forgot about Linville coming, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's gonna be a good race. I mean,
he is definitely hot right now in that 39 machine, and that's who I'm going to go with to win. I'm going with the Rooster Dustin Linville to get the win, and it's going to be a stacked field. You're going to have Jesse Lowe. You're going to have Dietz. You're going to have Logan Walls. You'll have the Wesley brothers. You got Jay Watt might be in attendance. You'll have Tommy Bailey. Just a stacked field, and cool that Skylar said that Ross White's going to come and race. Could see Cameron in a crate. Zach and Trevor Seiss. Going to be an awesome night. But I'm going to take the Rooster Dustin Linville for the win on Saturday night.
Well, it's a good pick. It is. Well, should we pick hobby stocks real quick too while we're?
Yeah, I think we should.
Is that 1,500?
I think we should pick hobby stocks as well, and because that is, man, 100 laps, 1,500 to win. I'm super excited for that race as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pick the hobby stocks as well. Go for it, Josh.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go quick because it's past my bedtime. Let's go
I
with.
know we gotta grow.
Let's go with. Craig Stocks. I think that's another one. It's hard to pick because that's probably the most competitive class there is. But I'm gonna go with Craig's been, especially there everywhere. Lake Cumberland, he's been tough this year. So
yeah.
Craig, that's 100 laps, and that throws a whole different. That throws a whole different variable. I mean, it's just that race. It's going to come down to survival as much as anything, and who can keep their car together. And I mean, 100 laps, man. That's these guys only do that once a year.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be attrition and survival of the fittest, and beating and banging and keeping your car, straight and intact and not having no issues. That's a good pick. Craig's definitely going to be tough to beat there. But I'm going to go with the 65-year-old veteran. I'm going to go with David Marlar to get the win. And there's another class. Who knows who could win? I mean,
yeah.
You got Randy Hacker, you got Ross Burnett, you got the Smith brothers, AJ and TJ. I mean, whoever drives that Corvette racing number one. I mean, there's just so many good drivers. Bo Gilly. The list goes on in the hobby stock.
Yeah.
So, man, just getting excited talking about it. It's Wednesday night, and just ready for Saturday to get here.
Yeah. Did you mention our buddy Ross Burnett?
I did.
That? Okay.
I did mention Ross in the 122.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bo Gilly, did you?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just throwing names.
I mentioned Bo Gilly. You're not paying attention. You're
asleep. I wouldn't listen.
Josh
I
is
was
asleep.
half asleep. Yeah.
It's 9:41 on a Wednesday night. Did you even work today? Did you do anything today?
No, I went to the woods today.
Oh yeah, that's right. You went to the woods. So that's just good too. You needed a little break to go set out your cameras and your corn and get ready to kill that deer, because I'm gonna want some jerky or tenderloin or something. Well, listen, buddy, I won't keep you. Thank you, everybody, for coming on tonight. It's been another great show. We really do appreciate you all, and I'm going to go through our sponsors and our tracks. We appreciate them as well.
Hey, real quick, driver. Sorry, I know I'm trying to rush to get off here, but a couple other events coming up this weekend too. For you to go through the sponsors.
I forgot. You got me rushed.
I know. I got y'all tore up there, but no. Let's. Rockcastle's running this weekend too. They've another event here for the month of September as things, like I said, just really start to wrap up all around the state. They're having a mini stock special this weekend. They've got all other classes running as well over there at Rockcastle, so I'm sure it'll be another great night for them. And then Mud Lick is running. I looked on their Facebook page. I'm pretty certain that this is their last points race of the season. They've got a big event coming up on October 7th as well. Their biggest show of the year. So just a couple of events there to look out for too, because we don't want to leave them out for sure.
Well,
good racing.
I wasn't meaning to leave them out.
But
you got to rushing me, and I know you've got to get off here and get your beauty sleep. So
I know you wouldn't. Yeah, I know you wouldn't.
But definitely go support our local tracks this weekend. Rockcastle Speedway, Mud Lick Valley, and Lake Cumberland Speedway. Go and support them for sure this weekend, and get those butts in the seats. So with that being said, I'm going to go through, as I was starting there, I'm going to go through and thank our sponsors. Smokehouse Grill and Buffet, Racetrack Connection, Bluegrass Restoration and Construction, The Detail Shop, Extreme Signs and Graphics, Fast Track Racing Series, Ultimate Heart of America Late Model Series, Dirtman Diecast, CT Promotions, Mudlick Valley Raceway, Richmond Raceway, Rockcastle Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway, Lake Cumberland Speedway, Ponderosa Speedway, Ironman Bruce Built Modifieds, and Ironman Super Late Model Series. So just yet again, guys, thank you all for watching tonight. As I mentioned, another great show. Thanks Skylar Marlar for coming on, and we will see you all at the races this weekend. Y'all have a good night.